Welcome everybody to our webinar. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, please, because it's important. Okay, thank you. So, welcome everybody. Today we're going to speak about youth exchanges. And we maybe need to wait for people to come, or we just can start. So today we have people from Ukrainian group. It's Alexandra and Tatiana, and people from Polish group, Ira and Konrad. It's a project I will read you. So maybe now we can start. At first, it's important to say that there are two types of education, formal and non-formal. So what is formal education? Formal education, the best example of it is school. So each one of us needs to go to school, and it's obligatory. So we have no choice to go or not to go. In school, there are teachers who teach us. It's logical, yeah. And they pass in their knowledge to us. They give us marks. They can judge us. And how is it different from non-formal education? Non-formal education is a kind of education where nobody is forcing you to do anything. You just you are as a volunteer, so you want to do it, and you do. And also you are learning from each other. So there are no teachers, and it's so-called peer-to-peer education, where each one participant of this, for example, youth exchange, is the great example of non-formal education. You are learning from each other. You are sharing your knowledge with everybody else. What is important to say that youth exchanges are created by youth, not for the youth. So now we would start with questions for our participants. And the first question is for, I guess, Sasha. Can you hear me? Okay, so maybe we will start with Tatiana. Where can young people find out? Oh, it's something wrong with our connection. So yeah, maybe Tatiana, would you tell us what is a youth exchange and what type of such exchanges exist for young people?
Actually, there are several types of youth exchange. So that we take part in now, it is Ukrainian-Polish youth exchange. And so maybe firstly, I would like to tell you where can we find this project. So the best, so as Margot has already said, these projects are not just created for youth, they are created by youth. So in order to participate in it, when you have some like very good, great idea, you can find an organization, NGO or something like that. You can come to this organization and tell them, so how I have a very cool project and I want to make it in real life. So I want to make this youth exchange. I want to speak on this topic with people from other countries. And then they say, okay, so this is the application, you have to fill it and thus you can create your own project with the help of youth organizations. But if you're just lack of don't have enough experience, but you still want to take part in this project, so you can find some groups on Facebook, for example, or on other social networks where There are many opportunities for youth published every day, and you can find the project you're extremely interested in. For example, I'm extremely interested in ecology, so I'm looking for some ecological projects. If somebody is interested in sports, he is looking for some sports project, and by that way we can not only like participate in this project, not only find out something new for us, we can also make some connections that will help us in future to make maybe our own projects as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Sasha, can you tell us what is youth exchange for you? Like, can you explain it to us, please? Okay, maybe that's problems with connection. Online projects, what you wanted. The next question is where can you find
Yeah, sure.
people?
Can you hear me here?
Sasha, we can hear you, but
Can you?
you are. Uh, it's still something wrong with your connection. We can hear you, but it disappears, and we can't see you properly. Mm. Okay, so maybe it will get better. We are moving to the next question. Where can young people find out information about youth exchanges? How can one become a participant of youth exchange? Who would be a good candidate for a participant of youth exchange? So maybe the question is where people are to find these programs, these exchanges. Maybe Ira would like to tell us about it.
I think Tatiana has already partially answered this question. So I think
Yeah.
the first what a young person should do is check out some organization in his or her town or city, and very often on their website they advertise different opportunities for young people. It doesn't mean that you should take part in ready-made projects if there is a topic which you find particularly interesting, as Tatiana gave an example of ecology or maybe some social issues. You can just ask this organization, you can consult them, and you might become a person who actually creates this project. I think for less experienced people, also Facebook can be a good option. But I think before applying, it's important to contact the organizers to make sure that you are aware of all the details and regulations.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And the next question that we have is what are the goals of Yes Exchange? So, what are these Yes Exchanges for? Why people apply on them? Maybe this time Sasha would tell us. I hope that it's everything okay with the
Yeah.
connection.
Can you hear me now? I've changed my device.
Yeah.
Am I here? Okay, great. So
Mhm.
what I wanted to say is that a youth exchange is a program that is especially done for young people. As it has already been mentioned, that it is a type of a non-formal education. So this is different from what we are used to studying at school. And the main goal and aim of the youth exchange is to solve a particular problem that exists in society. Nowadays, a very popular type of project is, for example, on the topic of refugees, or the topic of stereotypes, or the topic of human rights. These are the problems that we face every day in our society, and they are very needed. Youth exchange gathers people who are interested in this problem and who want to become the solution to that, who want to help improve the situation, who want to help this problem disappear, to solve it. And during the youth exchange, people from different countries, they gather all together, they share their opinions, they share their minds, and together they come up with the ideas of how they can make an influence in order to improve the situation. So this is a very nice way to educate each other, because we learn from each other. We don't have a particular team, but we just share experience, and this way, yes.
Okay, thank you. So now we are moving to your personal experience. So now everybody would have an opportunity to share it. So the first question is to Konrad. How does it feel to be the first time participant of a youth exchange? You are a new one, so tell us please, how does it feel?
So this is my first time when I in Young Exchange, and at the start I was very stressful, but the friendly atmosphere create me more open to another person, and now I'm less shy, and it's good things to take more experience with Young Exchange.
Okay, thank you. I would also like to answer this question because it's my first international experience too. So yeah, I was so excited about it. You can't even imagine because I knew that I was going to meet absolutely new people for me, and I would have an opportunity to communicate with people from Poland. I've never done this before, so it was just so interesting for me. But of course, I was a little bit scared. But when I joined the group, I understood that everything would be okay, and I shouldn't be scared about it because it's a new experience, and we should be open to the new things in our lives. So now I want to do it more and more and more. So yeah, um, the next question is to our more experienced participants. Do you remember your first youth exchange? What was it like? Um, Maybe Ira would start.
All right, my first youth exchange, it was 7 years ago in 2013, and it was a youth exchange devoted to peace culture. It was organized in a small town of Romania. In Romania called Bușteni. I remember it wasn't my first experience abroad and I was very excited about it, but at the same time I was a bit stressed out because I was the only representative from my country. And actually, I think that project was a bit different from the rest of the projects I took part in, because there were around, if I'm not mistaken, like 35 or 40 people from like 35 or 40 countries. Usually there were like one or two people from one country. There were representatives of all European countries. There were people from Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. At first, it was a little bit messy and difficult to remember the names of all the people and where they come from. But I think a lot of nice activities, integration games, and icebreakers were organized, which helped us to get to know to each other, and we managed to cooperate well during the project.
Okay, thank you. Tatiana, would you like to share your experience?
My first international project was in my city, so it was a project between Ukrainian and German youth, and the topic was about stereotypes in friendship. So we discussed this topic. We discussed everything that was connected with friendship, and even wrote some songs. Actually, the main thing was not to be afraid of speaking, because if for the first time we were just afraid. So, oh my God! So I know a little bit German, but so should I speak in German? Should I speak in English? So it was quite difficult at first, but after that. And now I just don't remember the language I was speaking to German people, because I just was very excited about this project, and I just had fun and and communicated with them and didn't pay attention to the language and so on.
Okay, thank you. And Sasha, would you like to share your first experience, please? Can you hear us? Sasha?
Me?
We can hear you, yeah. Your first experience, share with us, please.
I think I just have a problem with connection, and I just hear what you say a bit later than you say. So, talking about
Okay.
my first experience, I can say that I was 16 at that time, and it was a project in Germany. I actually didn't expect to become a participant, but I applied because my teacher at school said that there is such an opportunity. I was when I got the news that I was taken there as a participant. It was my birthday. I remember it was such a surprise, and actually I was a bit scared because I knew that I'm going to another country with people whom I don't know. And actually, when I was 16 was the lowest age for participation. So I knew that I was definitely the youngest one there. But after very from our Ukrainian to the project, we together to prepare the program for Ukrainian evening, and I knew that it will be fun. And when I arrived together with them to the place at Germany, it was really great. It was a nice experience. There were people from 9 countries, and even though I was a bit scared of how to meet with people from such a variety of countries with on the topic of European Union, because the topic of the exchange was European Union relations, and actually it appeared to be one of the best experiences of my exchanges. And I still keep in touch with people with whom I've been there. We had a great team, Ukrainian people, Finnish people, German people, and Lithuanian people. So we had our informal team. Even after the main education part of the project completed, we shared our experience about our daily life, about our daily life, how it is different in each country, and it was a great experience because we learned a lot. Yeah, so you be afraid of something new. You have to get out of your comfort zone and work for it. So your person
Okay, thank you for your answer. Um, the next question that we have is, what is your personal motivation to take part in youth exchanges? Uh, this time, maybe Conrad will start. What was your motivation to take part in this, for example, project?
It's my opinion. It is a good way to develop yourself
try
and
to apply to a youth
meet.
exchange that.
Yeah, and meet interesting people. Also, we can develop our good sides and make more less negative sides. And I'm want to meet another our friends with Ukraine.
Okay. And Tatiana, what was your main motivation to participate in this,
Particularly,
or some kind of another maybe project that you participated, or maybe in
okay.
general, how you would like?
Okay, so in general, my motivation is, as Conrad already said, is to meet new people, to set new connections, and what is more, the topics of these youth exchanges I took part are very interesting for me. So I understand that if I take part in these exchanges, for example, in this particular exchange, so I can influence somehow the situation. For example, if we speak about this exchange, so the situation about stereotypes we have about other countries. So maybe about the stereotypes Ukrainians, how about Polish people, and Polish people, how about Ukrainians. And if we speak about ecological projects, so this is the way to communicate with other people from other countries and find out their ways of solving maybe the problems we have in our country. And so these are like my two goals of taking part.
Okay, thank you. The next question we have is, having participated in both offline and online projects, which type would you prefer? Ira, would you start, please?
So I had 4 offline youth exchanges, and right now we are in the middle of I'm in the middle of my first online youth exchange. And I think online youth exchanges should exist, and it's a great opportunity for people from different countries to meet and to cooperate in the present situation, in the current situation which we have right now. But personally, I do prefer offline youth exchanges. I think they give you more opportunities to share your experience, to meet new people, and you can dive into the topics deep.
Okay, thank you. And Tatiana, what is it for you? What for you is better, offline exchange or online?
Actually, each kind of project has its advantages and disadvantages. If we speak about online projects, so it is, as Ira has said, it is an opportunity to like gather together people that would have never like gathered in real life. For example, as we had human library, so we had a person who now lives in Vietnam. So, but we still were able to communicate with her, or maybe some other people who live like all around the globe, and they can gather together in some, for example, in Zoom or in Skype. But if we speak about like real communication, so of course, offline projects give us more opportunity to make like non-formal communications. So not only in our tasks, but like during the breaks, after the like in the evenings after the long day of projects. So we have an opportunity to communicate maybe with people from not with the whole group, but with separate people, and after that we can like set our connections better.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to add that I've only participated, as Ira said, in some offline project, and it's my first online project. And I really liked meeting new people, like in person, face to face, and it is kind of really important for me because I can feel this more maybe deep connection between us. But still, when we have no other choices, no other um, opportunities, we still do the project, and it's great. Yeah. Next question is, what difficulties can appear during the youth exchange? Conrad, could you start, please?
Okay. So I'm very shy person, and it's can be difficult for me to open up and talk in big group when they are 3 or 5 people. It's okay, but when they are more, it's for me less comfortable. But for online Young Exchange, the main enemy is internet and low internet. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. As we can see, internet is really bad. We can see it on the example of Sasha, but still. Ira, could you talk about difficulties, please?
I think youth exchanges are open to everyone, and that's why people from different countries with different background come to such projects. And I think we should be ready that mild misunderstandings can happen between participants of the project. Sometimes they are connected to the fact that people have different opinions and they see the same issue from different points of view. At the same time, these misunderstandings can be based on different historical and cultural stereotypes, which unfortunately exist in the world, especially between neighboring countries. But I think maybe it's good that such misunderstandings happen, because a youth exchange is a great platform where people can talk, share their experience, and have a look at the same problem from different perspectives. So maybe this is the way where these misunderstandings can be solved.
Okay, thank you. We have one more question here, and then we're going to go to question that people on Facebook are giving us. So, do you think youth projects are good and effective type of education? So, is it a good way or not so good? Tatiana, would you start, please? Can you hear me, Tatiana?
Yes, okay, can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah.
Because
The question was, do you think youth projects are a good and effective type of education?
yes, I think it is a very good type of education, because if to compare it with formal education, here we all of us are volunteers. So we just nobody told us so go and take part in this project. So we are interested in these topics. So that is why we are here, and that means that we can communicate and do like our job like here more effectively than like in just formal education when we are just made to do this.
Okay. If Sasha can hear us, can you hear us, Sasha? Please give us a sign. Okay,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
okay, that's great. We we can hear you, but maybe you should try to turn off your camera. Then we will be concentrated on your voice, and maybe your internet will be better. Try it, please, because we want to hear your opinion. Uh, maybe we should move on with questions which we have here. Sasha, can you hear us right now? Okay. I really hope she does. Okay, so you can hear us somehow. The question is, do you think youth projects are a good and effective type of education? Okay, so we can't hear you, Sasha. It's really bad, but still, we can't control it, so maybe let's move on to the question that we have in our comments. The first question is from Yekaterina. What do you like the most about youth exchanges? So, guys, what do you like the most? Maybe Tatiana would start.
I think that the thing I like most in youth exchanges is the opportunity to meet young people that think in the same way as I do. So to communicate with them, to like discuss some things that are interesting for me and interesting for them as well. And in the future, and in as a result, we can come to some ideas. Then in the future, may change some problems or can influence like the cities or maybe the whole countries.
Okay, so you like to be the change, yeah? That's great.
Yeah.
Ira, what do you like the most about youth exchanges?
I think when it comes to youth exchanges, I'm a fan of diversity, and I really enjoy meeting people from different countries and cultures, which have different education from me. They have different working experience, different life experience, and it's very interesting to listen to people's stories to see to find out how they see the world, and I really enjoy discovering that something what I think is okay might not be okay for other people.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Next question is from Nika. How big is a list of youth exchanges that you have participated in? Maybe this time I think we've lost not only Sasha but also Konrad. So maybe this time, who would like to start? Somebody of you girls.
Okay, so maybe Ira answered like the last question, so I can start with this one. So my list of the projects I have taken part is not very big. So actually, I have applied for some projects. But for that time, I didn't have enough experience to take part in them. And also I have not very. So my like range of interests is uh, diversity, like cultural diversity and ecology. So that is why I prefer to take part just in to apply just for these projects and to take part in them. So this is my first online project. About offline projects, most of them were on the topic of ecology. I think that were like maybe 5 of these projects. And also I had to go to ecological project in September, but it is like postponed for spring because of the situation with coronavirus.
Okay, thank you. And Ira, what is your number of
So
youth
yeah, as I
exchanges?
have already said, this is my first online youth exchange, and before I took part in 4 youth exchanges. So I was in Romania, Poland, Ukraine, and Croatia.
Thank you. Um, Next question. What is the most interesting international program for you? Can you describe it, please? I remember the most international program for Sasha. It was in Germany. So yeah. But what it is for you, Ira? Maybe that time you would like to start.
Yes, I will start, but can you please read the question once again?
Okay. What was the most interesting international program for you?
I think one of the most interesting programs was the one in Croatia. So it was a youth exchange devoted to equal rights and equal opportunities for people from different layers of society. And actually, people had a lot of people were very initiative, and a lot of interesting actions were taken during this project. For example, one of the things which we did is that we had do-it-yourself day, and all the morning we spent making clothes out of recycled materials, like we were using papers and card boxes and stuff like this. And when our outfits were ready, all the participants of the project were wearing them, and we made a visit to the local elementary school. So I think this kind of surprise,
Wow.
it was very exciting to see the faces of the children, not just because of our outfits, but the fact that people from different European countries came to visit them. So I think this kind of local impact is something what makes a project for me very special.
Okay, thank you. That sounds really great. The next question is could you imagine yourself in the future as a creator of such projects? And I can see Sasha with us, and she's moving, and I hope she can hear us. Sasha, can you?
Yes,
Okay,
and finally.
so the question, could you imagine yourself in the future as a creator of such projects? Yeah, exchange maybe projects.
Well, yeah, I think I could organize with someone a project, but if I had to choose a topic, this would still need to do a lot of research to find the one that will be really important thing and to find the one that will be really interesting thing, because I don't really know if it was already mentioned in this webinar, because my internet is so good, but in use exchanges the topic is the main thing, because some people they perceive use exchanges as an opportunity to travel to visit other countries, but they don't really pay attention to the topic of the project. Their main aim when they apply is to go to a foreign country to travel to see it for free, because mainly these use exchanges they are sponsored by some organization or government. It depends on the type of the exchange. So I do really want to say that it is important that you choose a topic that will be interesting for people, so that people not only look at the country where the project will be held, but also they really want to take part and listen and to come up with new ideas. So I think that mainly if I were to choose a topic, I would focus on the human rights thing, because it is something that is very popular right now, and not only popular but important right now. So I think I would choose something of from that field. And I think that this human library project is a very cool idea, and maybe I would also try to organize something like that, because it is a nice chance for people to listen to the stories of people of real lives. So this is not that you can read from a book, or it is not an imaginary thing, it is the real life. And this really impacts our perception of the situation, it impacts our vision, and seeing that this is the reality but not just an imaginary thing, it makes you think of how you the solution to that problem.
Okay, I hope she's finished. Okay, thank you, Sasha. Thank you. Um, Next question is, do you have any funny stories from your exchanges? Or maybe any memorable moments? So let's start with funny stories. Um, Ira, do you have some funny stories?
I think I do, but now I cannot say that a funny story will come to my mind. But I think again, this Croatian youth exchange comes to my mind, where we had a very interesting activity. We were making drums and all types of shakers from all types of materials, stuff which you can find in your house and in the kitchen. And every day of the project was started with a drum session, in which like people who are very good at playing drums were teaching us how to play all these shakers, maracasas, and drums. And at the end of the project, we organized kind of a performance in a local part. So yeah, I remember that we were practicing in the basement, and local people were complaining a little bit because every morning from 8 till 9 we were playing these drums and shakers. But yes, it's a very memorable moment.
Okay, Tatiana, would you share your funny moment?
I think the funniest moments were when I was to summer school in Japan. So where there were people almost all around the world. And I remember the misunderstanding when we brought our traditional national Ukrainian food salo to the Spanish people, but we couldn't just explain to Spanish and Mexican people, but we couldn't explain in English what it was. And we told something that is like a fat of a pig, and nobody wanted to eat it because we just translated it not correctly. And the other story, yes, from the school as well, that was we were communicating with each other. We were sitting like for the whole night together, like sharing our experience, talking about our countries, and just on the lectures that were in the morning every day. Some of us were just fell asleep, and we had to wake up each other because it was not okay to sleep on the lectures.
Okay, thank you. The next question, Nika is asking, do you have some tips from your experience about CV? Maybe it's not actually CV, but I'm sure that she meant like these motivational letters that you need to write while you're applying on the project. Do you have some tips how to write them or how not to write, maybe?
I think it is better not just to write that I participated in that project, but it is better to write what you did, what did you do at that project, what did you like get for you from that project. And that is the best idea to show that you are not just like traveling, as Sasha said, but you are really into this project, you are really involved in this project.
Okay. And Sasha, can you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
I hope she does. The question is about CV. Okay. So today internet is not for us, it's against us, but so now I'm trying to ask questions to Sasha
So if we are
through text. Yeah. Can you guys hear Sasha?
No.
No.
But I think, yes, Konrad is here. His camera is off.
Yes, I am.
Cover
Okay, so I can hear Sasha, so maybe she would like to continue, and then the next question would be for Conrad. I just didn't see him, that's why I thought that he's not with us. Sasha, please continue. Okay, so maybe now Conrad would answer and then Sasha. Conrad, do you have some experience in writing CV or motivational letter?
To write.
Oh,
and
now Sasha is speaking.
You would like to participate on aim in the topic, why you find it interesting, because if you focus on that fact that you want country a project is held, you probably will not be chosen for it.
Okay, so thank you. Maybe we could move on to the next question. What do we have here? What pieces of advice about youth exchange can you share for the future participants? Maybe this time Conrad would start.
Okay.
Do you have some pieces of advice for future participants?
don't be shy. It's very important if you want to create and develop yourself. Second thing, maybe take part in all exercise and do the best. It's good way to be more open to another person, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. And Ira, what are your pieces of advice?
I think I would say go for it and don't think about your language skills and your previous experience. So just try to do it, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it. So I think in usually the project lasts like around 6-7 days, and I think in this 7 days you might learn more than in a regular system you will learn in a year. So I think it's very beneficial experience. Try to be open-minded, talk to different people, don't be afraid to express your opinion even if it's absolutely different from the opinion of other people. I think this is how we all learn.
Okay, thank you. Next question that we have is the same question. Okay, how to overcome the fear of participating in youth exchanges? Any tips for shy people? So we have a shy person here. It's Konrad. So
Yes.
give us your tips. How did you overcome your shyness, or you are in a process of overcoming it? Share with us, please.
Okay. Uh, it's very difficult to come out and help another person without strong energy. We must want to do this, because when we don't this energy, we can't help another person or help our group. So it's a very important thing to take part in activities, and it's a good way to be a volunteer in every exercise. It's make more and more positive energy, and make less shyness in our mind, because every difficult is in our mind.
Okay, thank you. And Tatiana, would you add something?
I just fully agree with Conrad. So don't be afraid of speaking, don't be afraid of communicating to other people, because it is like the main aim for these exchanges, like to meet new people. So if you are just closed and if you are just sitting and waiting for something, so nothing will happen. Just so you have to overcome your fear, and after that you will never feel sorry for that.
Okay, thank you.
Margarita,
Next question.
Margarita,
Okay,
can I
yes,
add here?
please.
Because I think it's very easy for us to say, like, don't be afraid to communicate to other people. But I think
Yeah.
something what I would recommend to people is to divide your challenge into some steps. So you are afraid to go and participate in a project. So divide it into steps. For example, all people are sitting together during some integration activities. It doesn't mean that you need to stand up and become a public speaker. Like right now, just talk to the person who sits next to you, the person who sits on the right. Later, in 1 hour, talk to people who are sitting with you during lunch and try to talk to them. And maybe step by step, you will find out that at the end of the project, you are already taking part maybe in some theatrical performances, or like you are presenting the research or something like this. So maybe small steps, I think, can be very useful here.
Okay, thank you. I can absolutely agree because uh, Yeah, small steps are much easier than large ones, and I can say that the most important part is this first step when you just start and then you understand that wow, that's not as scary as I thought. Yeah. So maybe we can move on to the next one. If you could make your own youth exchange, what would be the topic? Wow, that's an interesting one. Um, Tatiana, would you like to start? What would be the topic of your own youth
I
exchange?
I don't remember who said today that maybe Sasha said has said that we have to make a huge research in order to find out what which topic is like needs to be considered, which topic needs to be developed more. As for me, I still think that it would be ecology because it is never too it is a topic that always popular, and we have many things to do concerning this topic. So this is my opinion.
Okay, and I heard that you said that you apply mostly on exchanges that are connected with ecology. Yeah,
Not only
as
with
I remember.
ecology. With ecology, I have participated in some projects in Ukraine. So these were zero waste school, a project for Ukrainian youth, for Ukrainian schools and their pupils and teachers. And speaking about international projects, it is all as well as ecology. It is interesting for me to take part in a project, the main topic of which are stereotypes and cultural and intercultural exchange. So that is.
Okay, thank you. And Conrad, what about you? If you would create your own youth exchange, what would the topic be?
So my project will be about historical problem with communication between countries. It's a big problem today because a lot of countries have in the past a war, and some people don't forget and forgive it. It's maybe in the future will be another problem with the communication on international international communication.
Okay, thank you. And Ira, what about you?
Actually, I have two ideas. I think one of the projects would be about expatriates, people who leave their country in order to go to a different country and work there. I think their experiences are very diverse and interesting. Everybody comes for a different reason. They choose different countries. Some people later come back, sometimes not. Sometimes they manage to assimilate to the society, sometimes not. I think this is something what might be interesting to explore. And I think also nowadays I would pay attention to the problem of older people who sometimes might be forgotten by younger generations. Sometimes they might feel excluded. So maybe I would organize something what will enhance the importance of old age in our society.
Okay, thank you. Next question that we have here. Do you have some friends from your previous year's exchanges? If Sasha can hear us, maybe you would answer.
Yes, I can.
Okay, then
Yeah, sure.
go.
So mainly, as I mentioned earlier, when I was in Germany, we had a great team. So there were 9 people from 9 countries. So there were actually a lot of people, like 30 or 40 maybe. But my team, they were from Ukraine, Lithuania, Finland, and Germany. So we had our small group in which we communicated a lot, and it was great to get to know them, and we still sometimes keep in touch. We were actually planning to meet someday again, but as we all live in different countries and have our things to do, someone has university, someone has work, so it is kind of difficult to get together again. But still, we can chat online. And I even exchanged postcards with them. So that is a great option to find new friends, those youth exchanges.
Okay, thank you. I can see that we have 4 minutes left, so maybe let's move on to the next question. Um, what is your advice for people taking part in exchange to properly acclimatize, among others? Uh, okay, let it be. How to be the part of the community, I hope Philip meant. So, Ira, what are your tips? How to feel safe
I
and
think maybe first
comfortable?
smile and try to be friendly to other people, listen to them, ask questions, and that's how people will come to you. So I think that's something what will help you to become a part of a youth exchange. Express your opinion, ask questions, try to show an initiative, support the initiative of other people. I think it can be very useful.
Okay, thank you. And I can see that we have one question left here. Have there ever been conflicts, like fights, thefts, murders, at your youth exchange? Okay, maybe Tatiana would like to share first. Some kind of
Actually, so not in the international youth exchange, but when we had a project in Ukraine, so that was like not a fight, but some boys from the team occasionally broke the door in the hotel. So we had to like pay money for that. So not we, but that boy, but we offered him our help. So it was quite confusing because it was just like, why? Nobody understand how it happened.
Okay, thank you. And Ira, what about you?
I cannot say that there were like murders and some serious fights, but as I said before, I think it's very common that there might be misunderstandings to people. There can be some hot discussions where people are not always open to the opinions of others. So I think such situations might happen, but we do learn a lot from them. So if you don't want to be a part of it, at least observe and learn from it.
Okay, thank you. And now maybe Sasha, if she can hear us, would like to share experience. Sasha, are you here? Yeah, you can answer.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
the question,
on this
you
project
see the
that
question, yeah?
I, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
So on those projects that I have been, I didn't have any situations like that, yeah, I didn't have any situations like that, any fights, thefts, murders, or whatever. But what we only had the situation that we were a little bit separated, because on that main project that I referred to in Germany, we had a team from France and a team from Italy who didn't speak English well. They really only could speak the basics, so they just kept mainly in their teams. They didn't really want to communicate with others, so this was like the only problem that we faced at that time. But fortunately, we didn't have any like fights or any conflicts other.
Okay, thank you. So, if you have more questions, you are more than welcome to ask them in the comments. Now we have like 1 minute, and I want to say that this webinar was prepared as part of the YAS project I will read you, which is taking place in frames of Polish-Ukrainian Council of YAS Exchange. Project Partners are We Are the Future Ukraine and Eureka Generator Poland. Thank you for attending this webinar. As I said, you can leave your comments, your questions, and we will answer. Yeah. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.